All right, so step number one in regards to building a strong psychology with trading, and that's track data. You're not going to get around it, guys. I know some of you are moaning when you see track data, when you see forward test, back test. A lot of people, they don't like seeing that because most people don't like to do it. I don't like to do it either, guys, but it's so useful. You got to track your data. You know what tracking your data does for you? Tracking your data gives you confidence. It gives you supreme confidence in your system, because you have the numbers in front of you. You have that, you tracked your data over a large period of time, and you have that data right there in front of you. Having that data, I'm telling you, it will give you so much confidence in your system. You might say, I don't have a system to back test. I don't know how to back test. So I'm going to give you another way you can gather this data, begin to become comfortable with your strategy. It's by forward testing. So if you don't want to back test, then you need to forward test. You need to do one of them, at least one of them, and you need to gather data. So I'm going to be teaching you how to forward test in this video. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a Google sheet, a Google spreadsheet, okay? And with your strategy, I've taught several different strategies, and I want you to find one that fits your style that you like, okay? Maybe you want to trade, maybe you want to learn my particular strategy that I'm trading at the moment. Well, then you're going to only stick to that strategy, and you're going to input that data in here. Maybe you just want to play the market structure. Maybe you just want to focus on playing market structure. Well, if playing market structure is your strategy, input it in here. Whatever your strategy may be, you're going to be tracking it. You're going to be tracking every single trade that you take, okay? Now, if you don't have that data, you're not consistently profitable yet, you're not seeing really any consistency in your trading, then first off, you shouldn't even be trading real money right now. That's number one. You shouldn't even be trading real money. You should be paper trading. And while you're paper trading, you need to be gathering data. Okay, there's a lot of use in paper trading. I know people want to shit on it. People want to talk bad on paper trading like there's no use to it. There's use to it because it allows you to gather data in a risk-free environment, in an unemotional place. It allows you to get used to your platform and other benefits as well. Lets you execute your system. So that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be gathering data, okay, with forward testing. This is going to be essential to building that strong psychology. It's having that data in front of you. Now, here's how you're going to do it. Here's just a sample of how you can do it. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to give you a sample of what it looks like. For example, you'll have like month, wins, losses, R made, R loss, total R, max drawdown. All right, there's a sample set. Just super simple, super stupidly simple. Anybody can do this, right? And you're going to track it. So like it is June at the time that I'm making this video. So let's say you're going to put in June, and each trade that you take, again, if you're not seeing any consistent profits right now and you don't have the data, you should be paper trading. And every single trade that you take in your paper trading account, it needs to be inputted in here. So say you get a win, you're going to put a win in here. And then R made, say you made 1 R on the trade, 1 R, okay? Total R is now what? And then total R is 1 R. And you're just going to keep updating this every single trade. Don't miss one. Don't miss one. Every single trade. It is important that you input every single trade that you take in this spreadsheet. Okay, this is what we call forward testing. So you get another win. You update it to 2. Then you'll update it to 2R. Update total R, 2R. Now let's say you have a loss. Same deal. You're going to put a loss in there. R loss, you're going to put -1 or -1R, whatever you want to do. And then total R, you would have to update that now, right? Because you took an L. Now you would be down to a total of 1 R. Max drawdown, put 1 in there, okay? And you're going to do that with every single trade, and you're just going to keep updating this month, week after week, day after day, week after week, month after month. You're going to keep updating this data month after month. And before you know it, guys, you're going to have a large sample set of data right there in front of you, code hard numbers right there in front of you, staring you in your face, telling you this is how your strategy performs. It is a significant difference having that data in front of you than just having, it floating around in your head thinking, hey, this looks good. This is my strategy. This looks good. Nah, this is a big difference. And it's going to give you so much confidence in your system, in your strategy, because numbers don't lie. The numbers are right there in front of you, telling you the story of what is real. Okay. Max drawdown is very important as well, because another thing that happens to traders that get discouraged is they take a few L's, and what do? They switch everything up, right? They might take 2, 3 L's, And after about 3 or 4 L's in a row, most traders, they go on tilt. They start losing it after at that point. And guess what? 3 to 4 L's in a row is very common. That's very common with every single strategy. Okay. I mean, for me personally, 3 to 4 L's in a row for me, it's pretty uncommon, but I'm like, I got a lot of years of experience under my belt. I've been doing this a long time. A lot of you guys haven't been doing this as long as me. You don't have the experience that I do. 3 to 4 L's, yeah, it's gonna happen. 4 L's in a row, that's gonna happen. You got to prepare for it. You might take 5, 6, even 7 L's in a row. You need to be prepared for that. Okay. And by updating your max drawdown, that it allows you to do for that. Now, max drawdown isn't just like how many consecutive L's you take in a row. You can input that separate as you want. Again, to kind of play around with it, add your own little touch to it if you want. You can have a separate section for that, but also you want to keep track of like your max account drawdown. Okay, so whatever that may be, like your max account drawdown. Like for example, say during the month of June, for example, you end up losing your max drawdown was like, say it was like 5%. 5% was your max drawdown. So say you took a few wins, you took a few L's, but overall you ended up losing 5% in that month. You need to input that in there, because in the future, whenever you do get in with live money and you're in the game for real, you're going to be prepared, because you know what to expect. Okay, because you've tracked that data over a long period of time. You have a large sample set. Data gives you confidence. Okay, when you don't have that data, that brings uncertainty, because then when you're hit with those string of L's, you don't know how to deal with it. You have no data to look back to. You're just, because when you don't have that data to look back to, a few L's, I'm telling you, you're gonna go on tilt. You're gonna start rethinking. You're gonna jump to something else, and you're gonna just stay in that cycle that a lot of traders stay in. They're jumping from looking for holy grail. They're jumping from one strategy to another, one service to another, and they're just looking for that magic thing that doesn't exist. No strategy is perfect. All strategies have L's. All strategies endure drawdowns. The key mark between that amateur and a professional is how they handle those L's, how they handle those drawdowns. The beginner crumbles, switches everything up, finds something else, and then they stay in that cycle. The professional understands, hey, all right, I'm in a drawdown period right now. I'm taking a few L's right now, but I'm trading small. I look at my data, and this is normal for my strategy. I have that long set of data. I know what to expect. So I'm going to keep managing risk. I'm going to keep executing my system, and I'm going to let the chips fall as they may. I'm going to trust my system because I have a long set of data that backs me up, that tells me that I have an edge. And I'm just going to keep flipping that coin, keep managing risk, and let the chips fall as they may. Everybody has losing streaks. Okay, don't get caught up on the social media and all the guru stuff, all the furu stuff you see online. People want to pretend like they don't have L's. Like, guys, I'm telling you, everybody has L's. Everybody has losing streaks, beginners and professionals. The best of the best have losing streaks. They have times where the strategy just doesn't perform that well, but they keep executing, and that is the key. They keep executing. That data gives you confidence to keep executing, because you can look back to it. When in doubt, you can look back to that data. When in doubt, look at your data, and you're reminded, hey, I'm on the right track. I'm doing okay. Now, another thing that you want to do, and you really don't get this, like with back testing, you get that data, but you also get you'll see a lot of charts, because back testing, it's like the quicker way. Back testing is the quicker way to collect that data. Forward testing is a much slower way, because you're doing it in real time, and you can't just go back years at once and just study several different days at once like you can with back testing. So it's slower. And also with back testing, you get like overloaded with the same charts, the same setups over and over again, and you build like that muscle memory in your brain by seeing the same setup over and over again. But you could still achieve this with forward testing as well, by getting that muscle memory of seeing the same setup over and over again. All you're going to do is, so you're gathering your data, but what I also want you to do is, I want you to take a screenshot. Whenever something hits PT, I want you to take a screenshot of that chart, of your setup, your entry hitting a PT. I want you to take a screenshot of that and keep it in a folder of winning trades. And whenever you have a losing trade, I want you to do the same thing. You don't want to skip those either. I want you to take a screenshot of it hitting your stop out point, your entry area, all that captured in one photo, and I want you to put it in your folder for losing trades. And you're going to do this with every single trade. And you're going to have that portfolio of all of your setups, all of your winning trades, and all of your losing trades. Okay? And over time of studying that, you're like over time of doing that, I want you to consistently go through those photos, look at those photos, build that muscle memory, because you're going to have a large set of photos to look at. And something else that's likely going to happen is when you do this, you're going to start seeing differences between your winning trades and your losing trades. You're going to start to notice, hey, all my winning trades, they have this one. All my winning trades have this, but a lot of my losing trades don't. And you're going to start to tweak with things, and you're going to make your system better. Now, don't get caught into the trap of perfection, though. You're never going to be perfect, but you can definitely tweak some things to make it higher probability, and that's what you're going to do. But all this, it comes down to you, okay? I can't track your data for you guys. We don't do handouts over here. You got to do the work, guys. You got to track the data. You got to screenshot those charts. You got to study those charts. And that hard work of collecting that data over a long period, of you seeing the same thing over and over again, of you manually inputting that data yourself, it's going to give you confidence. You can't cheat the process. You can't cheat the process. If you try to, you're going to fail. I don't know how to put it any simpler than that. You're going to fail if you try to cheat the process, if you try to speed it up. I mean, very few people want to forward test. Very few people want to back test, guys. I get it. It's no fun. I'm one of those people that I've said it before. I'm not passionate about trading. I don't find the charts passionate. I don't find numbers passionate. I'm not passionate about numbers. I do it because I know it's going to help me. It's going to better my trading career. That's why I do it. That's why I do it, guys. I don't like doing this either. But you know what I do like? I like financial freedom. I like being my own boss. I like not having to clock in. I like having total freedom. And guess what? This is part of it. You got to do this. You can't escape from it. And truth is, if you can't get yourself to do this, if you can't get yourself to track this data, like no matter what, like you just can't do it. You can't get yourself to track the data. You can't get yourself to back test. You can't get yourself to forward test. I know a lot of you guys want to trade full time. Well, if that's you, if you're that type of person, then trading full time probably won't be for you. It probably won't be for you because if you need a boss like looking over your shoulder, telling you what to do at every single point of the day, trading full time, it may not be for you. Or trading in general probably just won't be for you, actually. Let me just correct that. Not even trading full time as a main source of income, but just trading in general, it ain't going to be for you. You can't escape the work. And I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you right now, just trust me on this. Trust me on this. You're going to gain confidence by doing this. Your psychology is going to become stronger by doing this. It's going to help a lot. And if you don't do this, I'm telling you, you got to do at least one of them. If you're not back testing, then you need to forward test. If you're not forward testing, then you need to go back test. If you don't do this, you're going to fail. Very likely you're going to fail. Don't let that likely give you hope either. All right. I say that because I'm sure there's some people out there that haven't back tested, haven't forward tested, and they're still successful. But I'm telling you, the vast majority, go look at the vast majority of the people that make it in this business. They forward test or they back test. They gather that data. You look at all the best traders, they gather data. They have that. That's like, it's no coincidence. What's a good sample set before you go live now? So we know we want to forward test. We know we want to track data. We know we need to be screenshotting our setups when they hit PT and stop, put them in folders, study those charts on a consistent basis, kind of like flashcards. But how much data do we need to gather before we go back live? So a lot of you are going to be paper trading, starting off, if you haven't found any consistency, that is. How long do we need to do this? Well, you need to do this forever, for one, but you don't need to paper trade for all. You're going to paper trade for at least 6 months. You need at least 6 months consistent profitability paper trading, and you're to be gathering data for that 6 months as well before you even consider going live. But the tracking the data never stops. It's smart to keep track of all your data on a consistent basis, okay? Now, I recommend only trading one strategy at a time. I don't recommend trying to juggle multiple strategies as a beginner. Focus on one strategy, master one, and then add another to your arsenal, okay, after you master one. But this is something else you can do. And I actually have a few different strategies that I'm tracking data on right now that I haven't even released to the public. Like I have several that I have in the lab right now, I guess you could say, that I'm tracking data on. And you can do this as well. But the key difference is you got to have enough self-restraint, self-control not to try to juggle several different strategies. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick one. Here is the framework I'm going to lay for you as for tracking data. You're going to start with one. You're going to gather that data. You're going to be consistently profitable on paper with one, and then you're going to go live with one strategy. Okay? After you've gone live with one strategy and you got that under the belt, like it's basically like trading that strategy is like it's second nature to you. You know exactly what you're looking for. There's not a shadow of doubt what you're looking for. You know exactly your entry. You know exactly where you're exiting. Everything is like very clear. And you have the data, you're going to keep tracking that data. Then at that point, I think it's okay to start putting other strategies, start tracking data for other strategies. I didn't say start trading other strategies. I said start tracking data for other strategies after you got consistency with one. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to create a different spreadsheet and you're going to start tracking data for another strategy. Okay? Because I believe having multiple strategies under your belt is useful. It is useful. Can you make it work with just one? Absolutely. But having multiple strategies is definitely useful because say one of your strategies gets to the point where it's just not performing like it used to. Maybe it's just the market conditions, the market environment, and you're looking at your data and it's not performing like it once was. Like say you have consecutive red months. Well, at that point, then you have other strategies in the arsenal that you can fall back on, that you've tracked data on. So you're not like just completely left without anything. You have other stuff to fall back on. That's why I like having multiple strategies, but you want to focus on one at a time. It's the key. One strategy at a time and focus mastering one at a time. Data gives you confidence. Trust that data, track that data. And I'm telling you, it's going to do a lot for your psychology. I'm telling you, it's going to do a lot.